Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name's Renee. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I appreciate you being here. I hope while you're here that you'll join the family, hit that subscribe button. Make sure when you hit the subscribe button, you turn up that notification bell to all. That way, hopefully YouTube will notify you when I make a new upload. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. It means a lot, helps out the channel, lets YouTube know you enjoy seeing my content. And go down below, leave a comment, say hi. Let me know that you stopped by. Today is Get Ready With Me Wednesday. So if you want to see what we're doing and find out what Get Ready With Me Wednesday is, then stick around. I'll be right back. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around and wanting to hang out with me for a little bit. I appreciate it. So I went ahead and did my brows and prepped my lids. I used my Juvias Place I Prep I Prime primer that I got in my BizyBeautyStore PR box, and I used my e.l.f. taupe brow pencil, and I also used a little bit of this Gimme Brow. Not too bad, not too bad. I think I'm getting better at them. We'll see. Some days are better than others. So welcome to Get Ready With Me Wednesday. I do this every week with my girl Kat. Right here. Right here. Go check her out, guys. She's amazing. I love her to death. Hey Kat, thank you so much for doing another week with me. I can't wait to see your video. I hope you had an amazing week. I know it's getting closer to you saying the I do's. So take a deep breath. One thing at a time, right? And it'll all get done. So guys, today we are going to get into the Olori one. I got this in my BizyBeautyStore PR box. It's beautiful. I think I can use this for a work look. I can put a little color on the lid, but it has these more natural colors, so it's not like crazy. To prep my skin, I used this Thirst Aid. I mean, I did my skincare this morning, but I used this Thirst Aid, and I've really been enjoying this. And I also used a little bit of my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and that's what I've been using the last few times I'm doing my makeup, and I like it. I'm also going to be using my Believe Beauty. I've been using this a lot lately. This is in Nude, and we'll see what else I get into. But anyways, yeah. Got some stuff to talk to you about this morning, you guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and start getting into this. I'll pop up the colors in here. So this is the perfect time for me to film, really, because I have something on my mind and now I can get it off my chest, because it's something that it's something that I don't try to think about every single day, but it's always there somewhere in my head. So my sister made a post this morning about my grandma, and she posted a picture of her and my grandma, and she said basically, my grandmother's 96 years old. She just had her 96th birthday, so she's up there in years, you know what I mean? My granddad's been gone for, God, I want to say my son was 3, so 15 years that my granddad's been gone, and my Aunt Reen's been gone for, Missy's been gone for 6. So I think Aunt Reen would have been gone maybe 4, I want to say. Her and my Uncle Ray. So, you know, there's a lot of loss over the last, well, really 6 years. I've had quite a bit of loss. And it's hard, you know, because basically her post was that when she went back there not that long ago for 5 days, she made time to visit my grandma 3 times out of those 5 days. Just keep that in mind. 5 days, and she had a wedding to go to. So you know what I'm saying? Like, she would have been busy those 5 days, but she made time 3 times while she was there to go visit my grandma. And what her post was basically saying is that there's people that live back there that haven't seen my grandma probably in years. Now, mind you, growing up, My dad was born and raised in Maryland. My mom was born and raised in California. The reason that they met is because my dad was in the Marines and he was stationed in California. So that's how they met. And so my whole life, I moved back and forth. I was born in California. That's where they met. That's where I was born. And then we moved back to Maryland. And both of my sisters were born back there, even though we made a move from there back to Maryland a couple times. And honestly, thinking about it, I think it's maybe because we had more help back there. My dad had more help, and my mom would have, you know, mental breakdowns and stuff like that. And then he would have to come back from wherever he was being stationed, and he would have to leave the military, which he left a couple times because he needed to be home to take care of my mom. And I think that living back in Maryland made that a little bit easier because I have a big family. My dad is one of 6 kids. My grandparents, every Sunday growing up, our entire family would come. And even for the married couples, if they went to their spouse's family's house, they would come down to my grandma's after, or they would come to my grandma's before, and they would leave a little early to go to their other. They always made time. Always. Every single Sunday, like clockwork. But I have people that have not seen my grandma, and they live literally 10 minutes from her. I can't find a brush. Where's the brush? Here it is. Okay, I got it. So it kind of makes me sad, you know, like I live 3,000 miles away, and in the last 4 years, I've seen my grandmother probably 8 times in 4 years, living 3,000 miles away. If I was back there, I could at least make 1 day a month for her for a little bit. And I get there's COVID, which did mess up with a lot of stuff, but you know, all you have to do really right now is because things are starting to get lifted. And she couldn't have visitors for a little bit, but she's been able to get visitors. The only thing is, like, they have certain ways of doing it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to call to set up an appointment, which is fine. I mean, you should have to do that anyway because you don't want, like, 20 people coming to visit one person at one time. Although, if it's in the summertime and they can be outside, I don't see why that shouldn't be allowed. Why that wouldn't be possible. You know what I mean? But it just seems like I have this huge family back there. My grandmother's 96 years old. We grew up in her house. She had a crib in her and my grandfather's bedroom for years because she took care of every single one of us. And it breaks my heart because she has dementia. So she doesn't always remember who I am. The very first time I went to see her last March, it's been a year this month since I've been back there. The very first time that I went to see her, I went with my Aunt Donna. And when we got in there, my aunt asked my grandma, "Do you know who this is?" And my grandma looked at her and said, "Yeah." And then my aunt asked who I was. And my grandma said, "Renee." And I feel like, because with dementia, you can remember things, like she has more vivid memories from years ago than she does, you know, more recent stuff. It's like the newer stuff just doesn't get retained. So she talks a lot about years ago. You know, she talks about where she used to live and being by the water, and talks about my pop, and talks about all the family get-togethers, and, you know, really fond memories that she has. And I feel like, you know, and then the next 2 times I went to see her, because I was back there for like a week, and I saw her 3 times while I was there. 2 times she really didn't remember me too much. One of my visits got taken away because one of the residents at my grandmother's like living facility had passed away, so I they wouldn't let me come in and see her because they were dealing with that. And this was like, COVID was, you know, still kind of like really big, and wasn't necessarily supposed to be there visiting, you know what I mean? But it was nice of them to let us, and we followed safety protocols. It's not like, and we were just me and my grandma, you know what I mean? So it just breaks my heart that more people don't try to see her, but they won't be too busy to be at her funeral. I guarantee you that. And that breaks my heart. How do we think that this is looking, guys? I like this palette. I did use the Olori 3, and I really like this one. I used these 3 colors because I thought they were more of a natural work look, which they are. So I think this is coming together really nice. I also got the Olori 3 from my BizyBeautyStore PR box for February. I got like 4 Juvias palettes, and I'm dying to dive into them all. But I don't know, it kind of frustrates me a little bit. You know, I get life is busy, especially with work and kids and dinners and stuff like that, but I guarantee you, I'm not even gonna play games. Like, I get lazy and stuff like that, but I guarantee you that if I was back there at this point, I would be calling and making appointments. And if I could only see her once a month, then I would only see her once a month. But I would see her because she'll be gone one day. And it sucks to think about it. It really does. And it's hard to see her, especially when she doesn't remember who you are. It's a very difficult thing. Believe me, it's heartbreaking when you go to see your grandmother who took care of you for years and she doesn't remember who you are. And there was one day that I was visiting her and it wasn't a good day for her, you know what I mean? And she was sitting there looking very confused, like she was lost. And God, did it freaking break my heart. But I just still stayed and talked to her. As much as my heart was breaking, I still stayed. And I talked to her. And just enjoyed that time. She deserved that. She deserved that time. She deserves that time. Whether she remembers me or not. Something inside her feels it. You know what I mean? I believe that wholeheartedly. That she knows I'm there. And she feels the love that she has for me. I made a video of her talking one time when I was back there. And I have it on my phone. And she always talks about wanting to go to, she wants to go home. And she misses the big gatherings when we were little. But she's been talking about that for years. For years and years and years. She's talked about missing the family get-togethers. Because once, I get it, life changes. People get married. They have kids. I get it. Like, I'm not saying that they don't. So things changed, of course. You know, once the grandkids started getting older, the weekly visits changed. My Uncle Ernie, however, continued for years to go down to my grandparents' house with donuts and coffee every Sunday and spend a couple hours because he knew how much it meant to them. And I think as the oldest child, he felt more of a sense of responsibility to, you know, take that spot, you know what I mean? Take that, not that it's a responsibility, but I don't know how to explain it. I just know that he knows how important it was to my grandparents to have those visits. And, you know, there are some family that would not go down there every week, but go down there, you know, once a week or whatever, to say hi and just, you know, take their kids, their great grandkids down there to spend some time with them. I took my son back there when he was almost 3, or he was 3. I took him back there when he was 3, and we spent 3 weeks back there. And it was nice because my son got to spend time with my grandparents. And I feel sad that he will never know that kind of time, you know, because growing up, it was amazing. We watched The Wizard of Oz. We watched Grease. They had band practices in my grandparents' basement. My uncle and my dad, a couple of my uncles and my dad were in a band. The whole family bowled together for years. They were on leagues together. My grandparents, my uncles, my aunts, my parents. Like, it was just a thing. You know what I mean? So, like, my grandfather family was very important to him. It was huge to him, and it was huge to my grandma. And my Aunt Reen lived with my grandparents for years because her husband died when I was little. And so my granddad told my grandma that they needed to let her live there, you know. And so my Aunt Reen lived there for years and years and years, like even after my grandfather passed away. So my grandma and my Aunt Reen are sisters. And so as much as it was, their relationship was adorable. It was adorable. They would fight and talk about each other behind each other's backs, but because there were things that would irritate each other about the other, you know what I mean? But that's sisters. It was really cute to see it together because they, you know, they love each other. You know they do, because they sit there in the living room and they would watch the Game Show Network and, you know what I mean, like do sisterly things. So it was just really cute to see their relationship. And, you know, when you have something like that for years, it's just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, guys, but it was amazing. I had an amazing family. And even though I didn't get to live back there, like, as much as other people have, you know, like, I moved out to California to live with my mom because my parents got divorced when I was 9, and there was like a whole bunch of stuff in between there, but I didn't get along with my stepmom. So I wanted to live with my mom. And so I moved out to California to be with my mom. And I'm glad I did because I had a lot of good experiences, but I did miss that big sense of family that I got back east because my mom only has one brother, you know what I mean? Back there, my dad is one of 6 kids, and they all had 2 or 3 kids. And so I had a lot of cousins down at my grandma's house when I was growing up. You know, it was a full house. She had a screened-in porch in the backyard, and we used to, during the right season, we would have crab feasts back there, and it was like a screened-in porch, and it had picnic tables. We would put out newspapers, and then everybody would pitch in, and we would get bushels of crab, and we'd just sit out there and have a crab feast. And there was horseshoe pits in my granddad's backyard, and they would set up badminton, and there was like this wooden oven type thing so that they would have cookouts out there. And my granddad had this huge grape ivy thing in the backyard, and we used to pick grapes from that. And there was woods across the street from my grandparents' house, and we used to play hide and seek with my uncle in those woods. And my Aunt Reen used to take us, when I lived with her, me and my sisters lived with her for a little bit, and there were other people, other cousins that would go down there. And my Aunt Reen, for years and years and years, walked us up the hill to the bus stop to go to school. And then she'd be there waiting for us when we got home. And she would take us for walks down to the little corner store. We'd walk down the street, and we'd go through the path through the woods and up the other side and walk down. And there was a little store down there where you could get like 5-cent candy and snowballs and stuff like that. And she would take us down there for that. It was just she deserves more. She deserves better. She deserves time, no matter how busy somebody is. If you have time to take a vacation, then you have time to go visit your grandmother. That's just how I feel about it. And it just breaks my heart because that's all she wants. You know, and I feel like maybe her dementia would be just a smidge better if she had that. You know, if people gave her the time. If she was always getting visitors. You know, make the appointment. Work around other people. If you call and that appointment time isn't available, then take the next available appointment. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be judgy or anything like that, but it just breaks my heart. And maybe things would be different if I was back there, you know, but I would think, knowing me, I would make the time. Once a month. I would probably try for more, but at least once a month. There's got to be an hour once a month that can be given to a woman who is 96 years old, who gave her life to the family around her. I'm going to go ahead and get off and do the rest of my makeup, and I'll be back with the final look. I don't want to get too emotional in this, but she deserves that. She is a wonderful woman. All right, guys. I'll be right back with the final look. So don't go anywhere, all right? Hey, guys. I'm back and the look is done. Sorry for getting a little emotional. I think maybe I'm just a little bit jealous of all of them. That they're so close to her and they could see her more and they don't. And I wish I was back there so I could see her more. I don't know. And I would... You know, you can only post so many things that are just kind of around the subject that people just don't pick up on because you don't want to say it directly to them because you don't want to hurt their feelings or anything. It's just like, I don't know. There's something that my grandma has said a lot, and my sister reminded me of it this morning, that if you can't make time for her while she's here, then don't make time for her when she's gone. You know what I mean? Something to that effect. I don't know if that's exactly it, but I don't know. I get it. I get it. Life is busy. I do. I don't know. Maybe I'm just jealous because they're back there and they could see her and they don't. And I miss that sense of unity just as much as my grandmother does. I have always for years missed that family part of it, but then over the years I've seen how everybody grew apart, and it's like, well, I miss it and I've wanted to move back there, but why? Because it's not like that anymore. Although I am closer to a couple of my cousins than I am to others, but it's sad, you know, it's sad, and I'm sad that my son didn't get to experience that kind of big family. He had a little bit, but just not to the extent that I did, I guess you could say. I don't know. Anyways, I finished my look. I used this Avon Wild Berry lip liner with this Revolution lipstick. I don't know what color this is because it's really hard to read. Is it Teaser? I don't know. Tiger? Maybe that says Tiger. Don't have my glasses on, so I can't read it, but pretty color. Pretty color. And I don't have to wear a mask at work anymore, but I'm still wearing it just because until I feel comfortable enough. I've got my Laura Geller and my Essence mascara and lash primer on. I used my Aquamarine Beauty Creations for the waterline. I used my Anastasia Dark Side for tight line, and then I did go into the Olori 3 palette, and I used this brown color right here and just put it right on the lash line and also a little bit on the lower lash line. And on my lid I have this, and this right here. I think I could have added a color, but I think I need to blend these two together.
Happy birthday.
Say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Renee.
Renee.
I love
also
you.
used
I love
this
you.
color on the bottom. I think, I mean, do I really need to say anything? Do I really need to say anything? I mean, the colors are beautiful. It performed really well. It looks like they blended together. I mean, what do you guys think? I think it looks all right. I think it looks all right. I used my Benefit cheek leaders. I used this and these mixed together. Maybe we should put some Tickle, which is the highlighter, on. I'm running late. I really should be walking out the door right now, and it's super foggy out there, which means it's probably pretty cold. Oh yeah, that looks pretty. I got this in a BizyBeautyStore PR box. What else did I do? I think that was it. Oh, I used my MAC Fix Plus setting spray. And I did also use a little bit of the Jeffree Star setting powder. I just put a little bit in the lid, and then I used this sponge just to kind of tap it where I didn't want to be too shiny. You know what I mean? But I think it looks really pretty. What do you guys think? Anyways, I gotta get going. I gotta get to work. I hope you guys have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time of day it is that you're watching this. I hope you all take care, stay safe. Visit your grandma today. I should probably call and see if they have any kind of FaceTime appointments or something like that. It's hard for her to talk on the phone because she can't hear. You know what I mean? And so you're yelling at her the entire time. But if you actually go in person and visit her, they have like a headset. I don't know. I'll have to call and find out. My cousin will be able to give me some information on it. But anyways, I love you, Kat, so very much. Thank you for another week. I will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, same bat station. I always put these up as premieres on Wednesdays at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Unless something comes up, but that's when they always go up. Anyways, I gotta go. See you guys later. Have a great day. I love you all. Take care.